What was the most dangerous situation that you've been in?
Getting raided by the Mexican police. Uh, we were we had an interview set up. There was this guy that went by the name of Hostage, and he lived in Mexico, and he was going to be traveling to the border town Piedras Negras, just across from Eagle Pass, to meet with us. And the night before, we're sitting in the Airbnb in Eagle Pass, and he calls it, and he's like, "I don't know if this is a good idea, man. I'm wanted." And I'm like, "Wanted by who? The cartels or the government?" He's like, "The government." And I'm like, "Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this interview early and quick. So let's do 10 a.m. Let's knock this out in an hour. Let's make this happen, and let's get out of there." So we cross the border, and we get out of the car, we park, we walk about a block and a half, and the Mexican police trucks are, patrolling. And everywhere we look, like if people are outside, they notice us and they're like, What are these guys doing here?" Like it was a really rough neighborhood, like neighborhoods where some people don't have fridges in their house.
Mm.
And so we walk into Hostage's homie's house, and things are really good. He's a very interesting guy. He'd been deported twice from America. He grew up in the Dallas area, did some prison time, did some crimes, is now in Mexico doing various things, including trying to be a tattoo artist, which I think goes to show again, like a lot of these guys, even the criminals, like their true dream is to do something with their art or with their business, but to make money, they're stuck in other things as well, and that's their own personal choice. I go to the bathroom, I come out of the bathroom, boom, and a piece of la verga, no piece of la verga. Basically, get your ass on the ground. 3 Mexican police come in, masks on, hand on the trigger, rifles
Mm.
pointed at us. The Mexican guys in the room immediately go on the ground, on the ground, on the stomach, surrendering. I went on my knees because like if something's gonna happen, I at least want to be able to see what's going on. Like if I'm gonna be kidnapped, because I don't know, is this cartel? Is this a prank? Are these dirty police? Because there's a lot of police in Mexico that have a terrible reputation. Like it's very possible they could have gotten us. Hey, we're going to the ATM. Here's the limit. You're taking your entire limit out. All right, who's next? You go. Like things like that happen. Or they just beat the hell out of you. They take you. They interrogate you. So they take his guy Borrega up the stairs and they start beating him and they search the entire house. And this guy has almost nothing in his house, so it didn't take very long. But they like his clothes were on the ground, everything was open, and they find no drugs. And probably what they suspected was that a few white guys are here to make a pickup, buy some drugs, and go back across the border. I said I know like I would call myself 40% fluent in Spanish. So I know a little bit of Spanish. I broke the ice with the police a little bit. I made a few jokes. Got them laughing a little bit, and just told them what I'm here for. I said, "I'm a journalist. This guy's a rapper. I'm here to interview him." And so we were let back up to our feet, and they're like, "Okay, where's the camera?" And they start watching the clips that we had. And luckily, they couldn't understand English because Hostage was speaking English to us, because he was just like, this was around, we were talking about George Floyd, because we were talking about police brutality in America and police brutality in Mexico. And he's basically saying, you guys think America's bad? Like, it's not even close to what happens in Mexico. So he's basically shit talking the police. And luckily, he didn't understand that, because I think things would have probably turned a little bit. But he's like, "Okay, good. Delete this clip, delete this clip." And we're like, "No, sir, please. Like, can we interview you?" He's like, "No, delete the clip." So we had to delete the 2 clips in front of him. We were able to retrieve one of them, because it's one of those classic YouTube things. If a YouTuber's like, got raided by the police, but we don't have anything to show for, like everyone's gonna be like, that's clickbait, that's nonsense. Luckily, Miguel was able to rescue one of the clips of us on the ground and the police there. And then my guy Chetta that took us there had Snapchat videos of the police. And then we also went next door. There were security cameras where it showed the police truck pulling up, entering. And so we did a little animation to show what happened in there. I think some Pakistani guy did a B+ job on the animation, and it told the story. But that was probably the scariest moment so far as a crew.
Has your life ever been threatened?
And so my life has never been threatened. In the prank days, it did. Like I had this sign. There was this comedian, I think Tom Mabe, and he had this sign called it was small penis parking. And so what you do is you put it in front of his parking spot, and when someone pulls up, you're like, "Sir, like, what are you doing in this spot? Like, I actually have a small penis. Like, why are you parking in my spot? Do you ever?" And like I remember across from the Milwaukee police station, like, "I'm gonna show ass." Like he was so mad and got mad. There was a guy that threatened me recently in the Tiffany Henyard video, and then I stood on business with him. I flexed on him too. I was like, "You're not going to do it." And I was egging him on a little bit. I don't usually ever look for conflict. I haven't been in a street fight since like 8th grade, and I I've always walked away from them. Even in college, rolling around with the wrestling team, like so many guys got into fights, and we would have just cleared house. Like if there's any opposition, I don't care if it's the football team, the track team, you name it. Like if it's a bunch of wrestlers, like there was no chance that they were ever going to win. And even that, like I would always go to sleep before that ever happened. Like I was never interested in just being like, oh, you looked at my girlfriend or you called me. Like I would always avoided those kind of situations.
Yeah.
Have you ever been threatened by anyone you made a documentary on? Maybe they were upset with how you represented them.
I don't think Tiffany Henier was pleased with my piece on her, but threatened. You know, there's some guys in Memphis, some real street dudes. Connect like one of them was Pooh Shiesty's cousin, and the other guy, you know, it was the same house that we were scared of the drive-by. When we went in, it was a trap house, man. Like it was probably 30, 40 deep, and in the kitchen, like someone had just got from their crew the night before, or maybe that day. In the kitchen, there's guys with ski masks filing the serial numbers off of. People are pissed. Like no one's talking. People are just smoking weed and pissed. And then this guy Jizzle, he tried like big dogging me in the house. Like he was like asking me what sports I play or whatever. And I was like, oh, I watch fighting. And he's like, oh, you fight? And I'm like, yeah, I fought before. And he's like, you think you could beat me? And he's 40 deep with all of his boys around him, and he's trying to like step on me a little bit. And I just was calm, and I was like, yeah, I think I could take you. And he looked like a dick because he was a total douchebag, no hospitality, pretty tough to flex on me in front of 40 of your guys with around me while me and my 2 other guys have nothing. And so he wasn't happy with how he came out, but it's also like, dude, you knew we were coming. You knew we were filming. Your crew, like one of them asks my guy Keegan if he's a fed. Another guy's like they were very aggressive. So like, what do you expect? Like you knew the cameras were rolling. You treated us like shit.
Where do they get from? Like every video when you go into these neighborhoods and they have like 5 and they're just like, you know, pointing it to the camera. Where do they get them? How easy is it?
We're going to do a piece eventually one day called How to Make It to the Hood, and we'll maybe do Houston, New York, Chicago. We'll cover a few different cities and explore that more in detail. But the general ways that I understand, one, a lot of these places it's legal to buy as long as you don't have a felony, and then you can sell it to a friend. So, you know, get past that way. That's a common way.
Also, here's a little note. From now on, we're going to say strap instead of GUN
strap.
just for the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
Strap.
So another way straps make it to the hood is car theft. If I have a in my car, someone goes into my car, they'll take that.
Take the strap.
Take the strap. Apologize. Another is, you know, home invasions. Some guy might have a safe with 20 straps, and that's a big come up for a crew. When we were in Texas, we had a guy who agreed to meet with us that had a 3D printer in his house and did business with the cartel. And we pulled up to his apartment complex. He didn't give us his door, and he chickened out. And I get it. I mean, if you're doing business with the cartel and you're about to go on camera explaining that, if they find out, you're so toast, it's not even funny. So I get why he chickened out of filming with us. But 3D printing operations, I would imagine that's more sophisticated than the average street guy's probably willing to go. But that's certainly a way they make it in there. Ghosts are like through Telegram, dude. Like that's how this 16-year-old Kia boy is doing it. Like, so if you get into the chat, I'll pull up, oh, what you want, Draco, or this or that, and okay, $400, boom, we'll meet here. But then another way they get it is robbing the strap dealers. So there's a lot of different ways.
How do you communicate with all of these people? Like how is the FBI not logged into your phone remotely
Yeah, I
or
know.
something and just used it to catch all of these people?
Well, the most secure ways to chat with people are either FaceTime audio, FaceTime, or Signal. And so those cannot be traced from what I know. I'm sure there's some software being developed to crack that. WhatsApp has been compromised. Telegram was just compromised recently. So Signal, FaceTime audio, and FaceTime are the most common. Because it's very serious to me to protect, no matter what these guys are doing, it's very serious to me to protect them. Because to me, the value I bring to the public is I'm willing to find this guy and talk to this guy that most of us would be scared to interview or couldn't get him to agree to an interview. And I'm going to ask him enough questions that we get into his psyche and figure out what motivates him and also the economics, the business behind what he does.